Morning program, and right away and unusually I'm starting my next interview by looking at you and telling you a date and a time. The date is next Saturday, the 28th of the month of March, the 28th next Saturday, and the time is 12 o'clock, the noontime hour, because that's the moment of the great march to Daisy Hill Hospital from the middle of Newry, the cathedral quarter, the heart of Newry, marching to protest against the removal of the stroke unit from Newry to reposition it in Craigavon. A man very much along with others behind the move, a lifelong nurse, a man of caring, John McArdle. You're welcome.
It's a pleasure, Ron. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be talking about an existing excellent service that's about to be removed. And we're listening to all kinds of language coming from the Trust, coming from the Minister. But what they're actually doing is they're consolidating Craigavon. That's exactly what they're doing. They're centralising the service, which is going to lead to an awful lot of hardship for families in particular. Families with no transport. At the moment, if you've got no transport and you wish to travel to Craigavon, it could mean at least 3 buses from the edge of South Down, South Armagh. It could mean a journey of it could mean a time factor of 4.5 hours. And after you visit your loved one, if you miss the particular connection, you could have to maybe get a taxi. As one person came to me 2 weeks ago, he had to get a taxi costing £55 from Craigavon to Newry because of the service is dreadful. Plus the fact that the Minister, Danny Kennedy, has announced that there's going to be a massive tightening up of bus services. And in some cases, some villages and small towns, they're going to withdraw the service altogether.
John, it's heading towards a no-brainer that this should remain in Newry.
Absolutely. We're actually training some of the people who'll work in Craigavon. The other factor is that the skilled people in Newry, and they've been in that service from the very beginning of the stroke service in Newry. They've been there. They've excellent material, excellent skills, and those skills are going to be melted away.
But surely the business of medicine and caring for the human being, surely its excellence is built on workplace experience.
Absolutely. And what they're going to do is they're going to dismantle this. They say the patient will go to they'll come to Newry, they'll have a scan, and if it's a blockbusting drug they need, they'll get it. If not, they'll go to Craigavon. Now, they talk about 7 days, and this is important. They talk about 7 days, 7 days. The patients from, say, Dungannon, in Craigavon with a stroke, 7 days in Craigavon, and another maybe number of days, 37 days if it's Craigavon and Lurgan, 47 days, that is the acute care rehabilitation, 47 days in the Dungannon area. Our patients coming into Daisy Hill with their acute and rehabilitation, 17 days.
Yes.
We deliver a fantastic quality of care and efficiency, effectiveness, and in relation to monetary terms, we're much, much more effective than the Craigavon area at the moment.
John, you haven't been lying back on your oars. You and Margaret Ritchie have been to see the Minister.
That's right. I mean, some people talk about this. We made it our business. We got the appointment. 3 weeks from today, we went up and we saw Jim Wells. Now, as a person, I like this guy as a person. We put a fantastic case. I'll give you an example of what one of the things he said. The Minister himself said he feels eerie going into Downpatrick Hospital. And Margaret retorted immediately, yes, Minister, because you took everything out of it of importance out of Downpatrick. Yeah. And says, what you're going to do, you're going to remove a fantastic service in Daisy Hill. The patients are going to go to Craigavon. Where are they going to go for rehabilitation?
Yeah.
If you have dismantled the existing service, I'll tell you where they'll go. They'll go into a medical ward or they'll go into a surgical ward. They'll be out of the road. There won't be the skills there to look after them. They'll be home and back in again if they're not fit and proper to live an existing, happy, everyday mobile life. They won't be.
What did Jim say to you?
Well, he is.
What's his rationale?
Well, they keep talking about this super acute. We want to produce a super acute service. So I said to the Minister, it doesn't exist, and I'll tell you why. Dame Nancy Rothaway, she's an eminent scientist, a neuroscientist in Manchester. She's the Vice-Chancellor of Manchester University. And in an article in the Sunday Times last November, she said, quote, all of the major drug companies have withdrawn their funding for research. And he said, why was that? Because they're making no progress. In other words, the service that we have, it is excellent. There's none any better. And this business of going to produce a super acute service, it's balderdash. It's not the truth. It doesn't exist.
Well, you see, Professor John Robb, he of surgical eminence in Northern Ireland over the years. He's retired now.
That's right. A Ballymena man.
Yes, and in his writings, John Robb has praised and has lauded the wonderment of the smaller community hospital, simply saying that at the heart of the community it must remain.
Simon Stevens was appointed by David Cameron on the 5th of July 2014. He's a managing director. He's the chief executive of health in England and Wales. And on the 6th of July, the first thing he said, we must go back to smaller hospitals. They're viable on the continent. And what have we done across Britain and across Ireland, north and south? We have closed all our smaller hospitals. And they're wondering now why there's such a gap, why there's such a hold-up, why so many patients are held up and they can't go home. Whereas we had Daisy Hill, we had Rathfriland Hill, we had Warren Point, we had St John of God's, we had Kilkeel, with all those smaller hospitals. When our patients were recovering from strokes and other serious medical and surgical conditions, they were able to go for respite, and when they were fit and healthy and able, then they returned home. We've closed all that. I did say to Mairead McAlinden, who has since departed, the chief executive, I could close every bed in the hospital. How could you do that? I could do that by stopping. You can close beds, you can't stop conditions occurring. Yeah, diseases are going to occur. It's a fact of life, and they're going to keep coming. And if the beds aren't there, you people are you're having serious problems, and you're not managing the system right.
You were 2 hours with the minister.
At least 2 hours with him.
At least 2 hours
yes.
with him. What is his motivation beyond the creation of a super unit? Are they trying to save money?
That's it. And they're trying to save money, but they're massively reducing the quality of care. And this is what health is all about. Health is all about getting attention when you need it most. It's all about getting attention. It's all about quality of care. And if you remove that stroke unit, you're massively reducing the quality of care. And you could be running into serious problems regarding equality laws.
Really? That's something that's there to be tackled?
Oh, that's something which can be looked at. And I mean, I could see down the road this going to a judicial review.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I want to tell the minister and the trust. Now, I'm not saying the trust is anti-Daisy Hill because I don't know, but I suspect the trust is fundamentally pro-Craigavon Area Hospital.
Yeah.
Pro that.
Certainly, Minister Wells is pro-Daisy Hill, because one of the first things he did when he was appointed, when he was called to the office of the First Minister, Peter Robinson, and said, I want you to take the portfolio. And Jim said to him, Peter, when? And Peter said, 15 minutes ago.
That's right.
Well, within the hour he was thinking about Daisy Hill. And when he came to Newry, Jim Wells said he would love to get rid of the existing Daisy Hill and rebuild a modern hospital in Newry.
That's right.
So he's committed to being a fan of Daisy Hill.
Yes. In the last 2 or 3 years, they've spent 100 million plus on Altnagelvin. They've spent millions upon millions on Craigavon. There's £100 million at the moment plus being spent on Dundonald. So there's no reason why Daisy Hill can't be updated. Ideally, the minister said, you're right, we need a new hospital site, maybe out the time. We don't know where, but we need that. But we've got to work with what we have at the moment. But I'm not saying that this stroke unit should be in Craigavon or Newry or Newry. I'm saying we should be able to retain the existing stroke beds where we're delivering a fantastic service.
We have seen across the border, 13 miles down the road, 25 miles down the road, hospitals there, the Lourdes in Drogheda, the Louth in Dundalk.
Monaghan.
And there's Monaghan. There is the opportunity for Newry to be even of greater service to those areas, because those hospitals have seen their difficulties. But Newry is here with specialisms within the unit. Is there a business case to be put for lifting Newry up as the new super hospital for the cross-border area.
I'm delighted you mentioned that. That's one of the things that I profoundly put to him. I said, Minister, at the moment, the Lourdes Hospital is on its knees. Monaghan is virtually gone. Dundalk is virtually gone. I said, look, the Irish government were to build a hospital down around Ballymascanlon 6 or 10 years ago. Then the massive recession. They didn't have the money. I said, is the trust out there touting for business? At the moment, we're delivering a fantastic service. Renal dialysis. We're treating patients from the Republic. We're treating patients at the weekends and night after night in our A&E department. We're treating them well. There's a certain charge and they're paying it. Yeah. There's an opportunity now for ENT, and then with the paediatric services in level 6 which are coming. I want you, Minister, and I want you to put the pressure on the Trust to go out and tout for business in that area, and especially tout for surgery, for elective surgery, particularly for adults. Because if you do that, the work is there, and if the price is right, that can consolidate and that we can expand Daisy Hill.
What did he say?
Yeah, well, he said they would do that and they would try that. I said, look, at the moment we're giving a terrific service in some fields. We can widen that field, Minister, if you put the pressure on the Trust. But I don't know where the determination or the eagerness is in the Trust at the moment to do that.
Yeah, has the horse bolted and we're now bolting the stable door?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think this can be overturned. As I said, we want to retain the existing stroke beds. That's what we want to retain. But I mean, what do you do? Do you dismantle a successful service, an excellent service, for one which is uncertain? And in this day and age of austerity, it's going to cost a fortune to build a ward, an area, to facilitate a stroke unit in Craigavon.
What did he...
Plus the fact that my colleagues tell me from South Armagh that the nurses at the moment are under immense pressure. Plus the ambulance service. I am being told messages now, I'm being told stories, an ambulance from Derry flying around Uri. I'm also being told recently where a patient was going to Daisy Hill Hospital in an ambulance, and the ambulance men had to ask the relatives how to get to the hospital. The ambulance service at the moment, it's on its knees, massively on its knees.
Of course, that's a separate service to the health
service. It is, of course. Yeah, there are
operated, so the Minister can't be held responsible for that.
No, but at the same time, something can be done, because when I remember the time my brother and a lot of people I knew worked in the ambulance service at the moment, I believe it's deteriorating. I've no doubt about that.
Okay, John.
Again, people are coming to me about appointments in Craigavon at 7 o'clock on a Monday morning. And that appointments, and they've no transport, no means of getting. I said, there is...
God help us, John, you know, in the modern world, they'll turn and say to you, we're not a taxi rank.
Yeah.
It's up to you to get there. We'll give you the appointment. We're just 30 miles down the road.
I know, but I mean, if you've got comparatively poor people, if you've got people there on benefits, how in God's name can they? Because if they were to pay a particular thing, sure, something's going to give. Is food going to give? Is heating going to give? And that is the actual result.
At the end of your 2.5 hours with Minister Wells, in relation to the stroke unit, what did he say to you?
He didn't have what they're actually doing is, as I said, they're centralising the service.
Well, what did he say to you? What promise did he give you?
He didn't give us any promise. He didn't give us any promise. Yeah.
Did he say, I look at it?
No.
Did he say, I hear what you say, you've got a case, I'll examine it?
Yeah. He asked me for a brief to say, I'm in the middle between the medical people and myself. We're in the middle, two-thirds. We have prepared a brief to go to the Minister probably sometime this week.
Good.
I've got it nearly finished. I'll be in conjunction with my political colleagues. We'll add to this particular brief, send it off to the Minister. But he is utterly determined. I am told that he's a centraliser anyhow. I don't know how true that is. But they are determined to shift. Well, we're determined to stand firm. We are determined to stand up and be counted.
Right, you're marching from the Cathedral Quarter on Saturday, moving off at 12 o'clock. You really need the people to be there to show that they care.
I want the people, I want every means of communication, television, radio, iPads, the social media. We want everyone. And it's like the old advert for the British government when they're promoting the shares for British Gas. Tell Sid. I want everyone to become a Sid, to tell one another. and not just in the Newry area, but the greater Newry area, to be in Newry on Saturday for 12 o'clock. And let them know that we are determined, not just for the stroke unit, but we are determined to retain our existing and to expand the services at the moment, which we're giving excellent service. And I'm here, I congratulate and I pay tribute to all of my colleagues in Daisy Hill, from the domestics right up to the consultants, my nursing colleagues, the laboratory people, everyone. I want to thank them for the tremendous service they're giving our people.
John McArdle, thank you very much indeed. You've heard it here from the man himself, a man who knows about these things because, as I said at the beginning of the interview, a lifetime of service as a nurse in hospitals in Ireland, in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, I've worked in
Daisy Hill,
yes, I've worked in Craigavon, I've worked in Armagh, and I find that the service in Daisy Hill was above
second
them.
to none.
Second to none.
So you have the opportunity to put your shoulder to the wheel, so to speak, this Saturday, 12 o'clock in the Cathedral Quarter to save the Daisy Hill Stroke Unit. Thank you, John.
Thanks very much, Ron. It's a pleasure.
Always
it's a pleasure.
good to talk.